Welcome back. How are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How have you been since the last video that we did? I hope you have been doing good because personally I've been also doing so good. And I thank God that you guys, you are there and you have been working with us. Thank you for even liking, subscribing, sharing our videos and also watching. We don't take that one for granted. Thank you so much because the rate that we are going with ni speed kubwa sana and without you we know that we could not have made this far. So thank you so much. Now it's another video that we just about to start. This is Victor T, and of course you are watching Victor T Show. Yeah, that is what we have for now. And I'm not alone. You guys, of course, I have not been alone here. I'm with my co-host here, who is...
Hamisi Moy.
Yeah, just say hi to people.
Hi, how are you doing? Thank you very much for being with us here today. We are excited because we know you are not alone. You are on the other side and we are here that we can discuss this topic. And we know whatever we discuss here is of very much importance in our lives, in changing us and even focusing in life.
Yeah.
So we are very glad to be here with you.
All right. Thank you so much. And to our viewers, we have said that if you are new here, consider subscribing, consider liking, consider sharing this video to your relatives, to your husband, to your wife, to your brother, to your sister, all of them. Make sure that they watch this video because I'm very sure it is going to benefit them. Today's topic, it's something that is, we don't understand all of us here because it's something that is so complicated. People have been talking about it and now and then and we go through actually, but still we don't understand it. Today, we want to discuss about childhood trauma. Did you go through that? Did it affect you in any way? Is it affecting you in any way? Trauma. You know, to grow up that we used to be told that trauma, you know, it's an experience. It's a bad experience. It's a something, you know, something people they have been talking about is, you know, I'm traumatized. We don't understand. And that's why we are discussing about it today. So, I don't know, in your childhood, what were you told about the trauma?
The usual stories. Usual stories.
Yes.
That I grew up hearing people say I'm traumatized.
Yeah.
I don't know. When they see someone behaving a certain way, they say so and so is traumatized.
Yeah.
So there have been those stories. And it is like we have not really captured what is trauma.
Yeah.
Because trauma is something that can be measured, something that can be diagnosed, something that can be assessed.
Okay.
Yes, whether somebody has trauma or not.
Eh.
You know, someone else would want to hide.
Yes.
And say that they're not going to relate with people because they say they have.
Yes.
They have trauma.
Oh, all right. That is so good. So that's why we are here today. Like, we really need you to understand, Mr. Hamisi.
Yeah.
We really need you to understand what is this thing, trauma. This thing, trauma. What is it all about? Because we really want to get out of the understanding that we you know tumegrow na yenyewe understanding that trauma ni hii na hii. We really want to understand what is this thing. Is it a thing? Is it something that you can measure that you've just talked about? What is it? Please make us understand.
Trauma is something that happens to people
Yes.
at any level in their lifespan that is too much on their mind to digest. So it is something that cannot be assimilated in our minds because our minds try to digest it and include it in our minds,
Yes.
but it is too much to understand. It is too much to settle with it. So instead of this event finding a place in our memories,
Yes.
it is stored aside. It has a life of its own. So it is not assimilated in our memories because it is too much for us.
Oh, it's too big for us.
Yeah, so these are most of the time it happens when people are young,
Yes.
like 1 to 6 years. At that time, you know, the child is vulnerable.
Yeah.
They don't have the resources to deal with these happenings in families. Their trust is with their caregivers or their parents. And they depend on their parents and their caregivers to protect them from these blows of the world and these blows of life.
Yes.
And it gets worse when these parents and the caregivers are the ones who are actually traumatizing these children. So at that time, the child is very vulnerable. They can do nothing about it. That thing just stays with them. And you hear it is not assimilated in the memories, other memories, good memories. It is like it stays aside to continue traumatizing this person, so they continue to re-experience. What they experienced, they continue to re-experience that every time they think about what happened.
Oh, so it's something that is set aside.
Yes, it is not digestible. You know, the mind cannot digest this thing because it is too much, especially for the child. You know, when the same thing happens to an adult and to a child, the reaction will be different.
Oh, yeah, true.
Yes, an adult have resources, maybe information and knowledge, and maybe they have experience. They have experienced a lot of things in life. So when that thing happens to adults, they are able to accommodate that. But to a child, they don't have these resources. They don't have experience. They don't have knowledge. They cannot read books. So when it happens to them, it is too much for them, and it is too. Their mind is very fragile, and so it affects them too much than these adults.
Oh, so that means that you know, some things like sexual abuse, child neglect,
there is
serious
extreme
illness.
There is extreme child neglect.
Okay.
There is even sexual abuse. You have had cases where you hear a child was actually abused by the immediate caregiver, that the child have all hope. They have given all hope on this one person. They know that in all this world, the only person who can protect me is this person. And now when this person turns again and does these things to this child, it is too much traumatizing for this child. Yes, because now the innocence of this child is shattered. The faith this child had in the world, and even the systems of this world, they come to an end. This person cannot now trust anything else. They cannot trust anyone. Now they live in fear. Because if the immediate person who I thought would protect me is the one who have now assaulted me. Now I'm vulnerable, and now I have no help, I have no hope. So, and since they are young, and they cannot go to these maybe legal processes and be able even to say these things to other people, they live with it. Yes.
So those are some of the examples.
Yeah, those are some of the examples.
So that means that we have some different types of trauma.
There are different types.
Do we have?
There are different types of trauma because there is a type that is brought to people from natural disasters. For example, when we have floodings, and there is a lot of destruction, people take that, give meaning to those events differently. And you know, something that can traumatize one person must not necessarily traumatize another. Because it is actually not the event that traumatizes the person. It is the meaning we give to the event that traumatizes the person. That's why you see two people can go through the same experience. One of them is affected. Another one just comes out of it very quickly. Another one just stay there for some time. Every time they come out, because it depends with our resources, as I said, and our experiences, and our resilience. You know, there are people who are resilient, you know, to move on. So it affects people differently. And then there is the type of human made. This is the one you have said about sexual abuse, physical punishment. You know, there is another punishment you punish children that is traumatizing. There are people who beat their children like a snake.
I'm relating.
These days you even see some clips. They throw some clips on Facebook. You see, I don't know whether it's a parent or it's just a caregiver punishing a child physically until people on media they are the beating is traumatizing people who are watching.
Yeah.
Because trauma does not mean that the only person whom it happened to is the one who can be traumatized.
Yeah, sure.
Trauma is wide. Yes. Yeah, we can even say these are the types because trauma can happen to you as an individual.
Okay.
Maybe your life was threatened, or maybe a blow happened to you,
Yes.
or another time, this thing could have happened to a person closer to you. For example, when parents are traumatized, the children automatically are traumatized by the trauma of their parents.
So it can affect the second
Yes,
party and the third party as
the
well.
third party. Even people who go to, the media, people who go to cover these scenarios of flooding and earthquakes and all these things, they also experience some level of trauma because they are watching. They are watching what's going on. Even the police who always rush to scenes of crime, they find people who are dead. They find people who burned other people. They find all these things of child neglect and child abuse. This is another level of trauma that this level of people go through.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. So we have different types.
We have different types, depending on the proximity of the victim. They could have been very close to the happening, or they could be away in the media. They could even be in the society. When something happens in the society in the morning, people go there. Some of them are traumatized by just watching what happened in that family. Maybe somebody killed all his family. And the people come there to see in the morning. Some of them are traumatized because of this. So it goes from the immediate casualties going wide, even up to the community. Yes.
Wow. So does it mean that how can we tell somebody went through went through trauma?
Yeah.
How can we tell? Because I'm trying to understand, and there must be some some symptoms, some characteristics of this person who is that are going through trauma.
Yeah, there are very many characteristics and symptoms of someone who went through this experience. And especially when they were young, I said from 1 to 6 years.
Yes.
At that time is when the child is trying to get meaning and fixing meaning in this world. And trying to believe and trust and have faith in systems, in family, in friends, and in everybody else. So at that time, when this child is trying to make sense of what is around them, things that happen to this child at this time, those things, they hit them bad because they don't know the other part of life. It is now they are trying now to put meaning into life.
Into life.
Yes, they don't have any other meaning to life. Yes, they are now trying to put meaning to life. And this is the time now you are giving them blow after blow of traumatizing events.
Yes.
So at this time, the child's mind is an empty memory at this time, and now they want to record. They want now to record how the world runs, how people behave, and how safe are we in this world. So this is what they record. And when they record this at 1 to 6 years, now, if they don't get help from this time until they are grown up, which is a common scenario, especially in developing countries. In developed countries, counseling and therapy and psychologists is something that they start with young children. As they grow. And it is something that that is known. It is there. In developing countries, it is very rare. People don't take this like it is something that is important. Regardless of that, it is still affecting people. Because when you grow with this, when you are now an adult, because you asked me for symptoms, you will realize there are some behaviors this person have when they are old. That are resonating with the traumatic event that happened when they were young. You can even find someone who is now already maybe a mother or is married, or a man who has married another person. And you may find they are being affected by the trauma that they went through when they were young. And now they are bringing it here. When, for example, this husband raises his voice, it may traumatize his wife. Because you don't know when she was young how those voices were being raised at that time and what followed.
Yeah.
Maybe the voices were followed by beatings.
True.
And and maybe the voices, the high voices were followed by being kicked out. You know, there's a theory in counseling that says
Yes.
classical conditioning, which means when you hear something, you pair. There is pairing of things. When you hear this, you know the other one is here. You see?
Oh, yeah.
When you hear this, you know the other one. Like when you are in school, you will see. There was a time we would say, when a certain teacher wears this color of clothes or this clothes, the things are not good in
They
school
are not
today.
good, yeah.
You know, you are pairing this and this.
Like that, yeah.
And now when this maybe married woman hears something that she was traumatized about when they were young, they hear that, they pair. They know now there is another thing.
That is coming.
Yeah, that is coming. And so these people, they continue to re-experience the trauma that they experienced day one. And when you re-experience, you go through all the bitterness, all through the pain, all through the fears. Just like when it happened. So all your life you continue to re-experience. Yeah, like you go through the same trauma time and again. Going through the same pains, the same fears, the same bleeding, the same tears. That's why you find these people, another symptom, they cry a lot. You find someone locking themselves up and they are crying. And you wonder what is happening with this person. I thought this person was an adult. But you find them crying. Others, they withdraw from their friends, from the society. They withdraw. You find that even if it is in an office, they just stay on their corner with their computer there. They are working there alone. They don't want to interact because when they were growing up, maybe their self-worth was touched in these trauma things. Maybe they went through that thing of they were shown that they are not worthy. You know, even to relate with other people.
With other people, yeah.
So you will see some of these symptoms, either withdrawing, others are hyperactive, others have a hyperactivity. When you can touch somebody accidentally and they jump, because their body is in flight or fight mode. They are in flight or fight mode because somebody touched them one day and they assaulted them. Yes. So now they are vigilant.
They are now remembering.
They are very vigilant. So when you touch them in a certain way, they jump. Others, they just go numb. They just stay depressed. They just go numb. They are not interested in anything. They just stay. You know, these ones, their case was chronic. There was chronic type of trauma. It was repeated. You know, like if it was sexual abuse, it was repeated many times until they gave up. They just gave up. They saw like this is it. And so even in life, later in life, they are not resilient. They don't struggle. They don't push things. They don't move. When something doesn't work a little bit, they just go numb. They just don't try things. They just
give up.
They give up because they went through some of those things. Yes.
I cannot see. So that's mean that you find some of the people, like they don't want even to relate with others. They don't want to interact with others. They're like they are in their own world. Like they are just like there. They don't want to talk to people.
They are going through shame that was instilled in them when they were 1 to 6 years. They are going through that shame. They don't feel worthy to relate with the people. They think other people are better than them. Because they think other people didn't go through what I went through. You know, even people who go through trauma, sometimes they conclude that they caused it. Yes, even when it was another person's mistake, like in rape cases. You find like maybe the person who was raped may even start to conclude like, I caused this thing on me. Because maybe, why did they not rape anybody else? Everybody else, why did they just rape me? Maybe it was the way I dressed. Maybe I smiled at them in a way that made them think I want them. So in this self-blame, now they start getting ashamed, and now they start now losing their self-worth. That's why now they can't even relate with the people.
Oh.
And you see them even where you work, you want to relate with them, but they just crowd themselves somewhere and they don't want any relation with the people.
Oh, so you know, I have a friend of mine who doesn't like by they talking to people.
Yeah.
And used to tell me that when they were kids, hey, they used to be beaten
Yeah.
by the parent because of just kwenda tu hapo kwa neighbor. Like they used to be beaten, and they grew like that. Another one, like I asked him another day that why maybe probably okay. He was telling me by the reason why maybe he has not started the family and all that.
Yeah.
I think I was telling me, no, but I'm fearing, I don't want to interact with these ladies. I don't want to talk to them. So could it be that was one of the, the cause ilianza pale when they were kid?
Yeah, it starts there because I told you at this time the child doesn't have, there are things called schemas in psychology.
Yes.
Schemas are the things that are in your mind so that when you get any other information, you rate it with the beliefs. Schemas are your beliefs. Anything that you get, you weigh it with your beliefs to see whether you can accept it or not.
Okay.
Yes. So at this time when this person is young, he doesn't have these schemas in his mind. It is the time he is making these schemas afresh.
Oh, yes.
So the schemas he has are that you are not supposed to talk to a girl because he received them when he was preparing for these schemas in his mind. So the things he has is that speaking to a girl is dangerous, is shameful. It can take you in a bad place. So even when they are old, when now they are adults, when they want to start a relationship, that information must be weighed by the schemas that they took when they were young, because that schema is what they have. Now, when they want to relate with a girl or a boy, for this case, the information cannot settle well in their mind because the principles they have are that these are not good people, this can happen, this one can do this one can do this. You see, even, for example, for the ladies,
Yes.
they are told from when they are young, don't play with boys.
Yes,
Boys are
true.
bad. They
True,
can
true,
do this. They can make your stomach to swell. They can do this, they can do this. Now, you are not telling these children actually what you are saying. So these girls, they receive this information and they hate boys. They hate them. Even in school, when the teacher says, you sit with so-and-so, they say, no, they run away.
Yeah.
They want to sit with girls because they have been told boys are not good. And these things, they grow with them when they are adults. And now they want to be married.
Yeah.
And now they have a problem relating with this man who married them because what they have in their mind is that these people are not good. So they just get married to go and find out slowly by slowly whether to see now the badness. They are ready now to see the badness. Instead of going to the marriage to enjoy and to build a family, they are coming to the marriage to find out the badness of these people.
Oh, yeah.
So they are looking at you every
confirm,
step to confirm
what they were told.
every step you are taking out. They are looking to see whether these things they were told. Yes. Yeah. These are the things that even affect families.
That's very true.
Yeah.
You have talked about, that parent. How can we help this, this toddler, this kid that is growing in such an environment? Yeah. How can we help?
The best way to help the kid, because I told you in the beginning.
Sorry, just to cut you short.
Yeah.
Because we don't want this kid to inherit the same thing, from the parent.
Yeah.
How can we help this kid to avoid from him or her going through trauma when they are adult?
So, as I said in the beginning, the child, this one who is actually 1 up to 10.
Yeah, 10
but
years.
In psychology, we talk about 1 to 6 years. This child is totally dependent on the caregiver.
Yes, who is This is a parent. in
Could
this
be
case.
the parent.
Yeah.
No, it's not every child who
Oh,
is
true.
taken
Very
care
true.
of. That's why we use the word in psychology. We say the caregiver,
The caregiver.
because it can be anybody.
Yeah.
It can be adoption. It can be the parents. It can be the auntie. It can be the grandmother. Because things
guardian, yeah.
like these they happen.
Yeah, true.
So this child is dependent 100% on the caregiver for their emotional stability,
Yeah.
psychological, mental, and everything else.
Yeah.
They don't have their own. They depend on this parent
Yeah.
or this caregiver. And if the parent himself had gone through trauma
Yeah.
in his life when they were young, and now they are living the trauma right now, and they have children now. And you know, before you go there, it is not actually the trauma itself that disturbs people. What disturbs a trauma is something that happens, is an event. Traumatizing event is something that happens in an event.
Yes.
Yes. What traumatizes people, as I said, is the perceptions we have about what happened and the meaning we give.
Yes.
And when we add learned helplessness, because there is something called learned helplessness
Yeah.
and learned hopelessness, when we add to this, now we cannot help ourselves. So what actually disturbs people in psychology is called PTSD.
Yes.
It is post-traumatic stress disorders.
Oh, yes.
Post-traumatic, because the trauma was just an event. Now the things you continue to tell yourself from that day about the event,
Yes.
and the thinking you continue to tell yourself about the event,
Yes.
and the digestion you continue to digest that event every day, and the perceptions you're going to telling yourself from the day the event happened, is now what disturbs people.
Oh, yes.
It is not the trauma itself. The trauma was just an event.
It was just an
And this one is called PTSD.
Yes.
Now, to help this child, because you asked to me, how can we help
Yes.
this
How
child?
can, yeah.
So that they don't go through this
The same
cycle
thing. Yeah, true.
of trauma after trauma, the cycles of trauma. We can only help this parent who is taking care of this child. Because we say the child is 100% dependent on this parent to make up their schemas in their mind, to understand the world,
Yes.
and to know how the world runs, and to trust and have faith in the world. So we can only help this parent to digest their trauma or their PTSD, the one they are going through,
Yes.
so that they start living a whole life. They heal from traumatic events, or at least they manage those traumatic events, so that they do not download them to the children. Because the behavior they are behaving in the house when they are traumatized is being picked by the children, and they are recording that. When they are being loud in the house, when they are kicking things and throwing the televisions down and kicking things, because they are going through traumatizing or the post-traumatic stress, the child doesn't know what you went through.
Oh, yeah.
The child is just young. So they are thinking, and since in your house is where now is the entry point to this world is your house. The entry point to this world
Yeah.
is in your house. And in your house, this is what they are picking from your house. So they interpret the whole world to be chaotic.
Yeah.
The world is chaotic.
Sure.
The world is not safe. Yes, because where they entered the world, in your house, is chaotic. Nobody can stay there. Even many times they have been rescued from a burning house. You have burned the house many times. The children have been taken out from burning. They have gone without food. You have beaten these children many times, like a snake. So what do they get? They get that this world is a place we cannot trust. This world is not safe. It's not safe for anybody. This world is somewhere the animals. This is the animals that live in this world, because this is where I entered the world, in this house, and this is what I see. You see it now?
Yes.
So we can only help this parent for us to help this child. First of all, we help this child, this parent,
Yeah.
to sort out their issues, to teach them good parenting strategies, to teach them what is called emotional management, to teach them intrapersonal skills.
Yes.
Intrapersonal skills mean you relate well with yourself.
Yes.
Before we teach them now interpersonal skills, whereby now you relate with other people, your children, your friends, and everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
You'll be friendly. Unless we teach these parents these skills and all these,
Yes.
they are not able now to stop the transfer of trauma to the children.
To the children. Oh, so wazazi si wako na mzigo hapo.
Yeah. Unfortunately, most of these parents and caregivers, unfortunately, they do not know what they are doing. And it is a very, very sad report to the children. Yes.
So unfortunate, because you even find some of the parents that they have the belts. At hii belt, ukifanya makosa kidogo, na kupiga.
Now that is conditioning. The child is conditioned. The child sees a belt anywhere, he pairs it with punishment. Even if they get married and they see their husbands now removing the belt, maybe they want to put on another trouser. They see the belt.
They connect.
They pair it with punishment. So you see, and that's why I have been advocating for where people are grouped, like in churches and in groups and all these other places. If there is anybody who can see the sense we are talking about, to get people who can speak to parents at that point, because waiting for a parent to go himself alone to a therapist or to a counselor like me, it may not, many people are not aware of these things. So people who have these groupings, maybe a church or a group or a company, we have something called the workplace counseling, and those are parents of people. Companies can call therapists and counselors to, actually they do. Many companies I know, they call us to the companies, we speak to them about the managing of their stresses so that they do not take it home. They don't bring it to work. Yes, so that this person can be. Now, in these churches also and other places, the people who are leaders there should take these therapists and counselors and let them help these parents in this church so that when they go home, someone can go home and change the scenario of traumatizing the other generation.
True.
Because this is the only way you can help them.
That is the only way.
Yes.
That is the only way. It's very true. So our viewers, I hope that you are listening and following us. That is the way, that is what you are supposed to do. If you're a parent there, and of course you don't want this one to affect, the trauma to affect your children, please take the necessary step.
They can even call us here.
We have the number. The number is on the screen, and I know it will not be in vain.
Yes.
Sawa. So still consider subscribing, sharing, like in the video, because that is the way to go. So, Mr. Hamisi, you have talked about how we can avoid this trauma to be transferred to our children. But there is this person that is already an adult, is already having this trauma, is already affecting his life or her life. Yani ako ndani kabisa ya this trauma. And it's really wondering, how will I cope up? How will I cope up with this situation? Do we have the recommended strategies of coping up with this trauma?
When someone is already deep in this post-traumatic stress, most people, because of not having the know-how and the knowledge of what they are going through and where to look for help, they do coping with other mechanism of coping, like they get into drugs, others into alcoholism, because you find that these things are stressing them.
True.
And they want to stop this stress. So some of them get into alcohol. Alcohol only gives you some joy for some hours. And then the alcohol is over. The things comes now times 2.
It's doubled.
Whatever you are refusing to think,
It's doubled.
when the alcohol is gone, now you are thinking now about the money you used, plus again the trauma is still here. The stress is still here, and you already drank pesa ya
It's
school
not yet
fees.
gone. Eh.
You drank pesa ya school fees ya watoto. Now the trauma is still here. Others, they decide to be violent
Oh, yes.
because they feel now to get their worth, they have to be violent. People should know their worth
Yes.
by being violent. Others even become negligent. Yes. That's why you find for some men, for their wives to know that they are a person, they beat them.
Oh, yeah.
They beat them because they have nothing else.
They beat their women.
They beat them because they have nothing else to put them above their women. Because if it is working, their women are working better. If it is parenting, their women are doing better. If it is understanding oneself, their women are doing better. So these people have nothing to compete
Oh, yeah.
with their spouses, not just women. It could be both sides.
Yeah.
So
True.
they beat them. They become violent. Others, when they have a problem at work,
Yeah.
and since they are shy and they have low self-esteem, they are not able to stand up to their boss at work. They bring it home to their children.
Yes.
Now they come home to their children, they beat them. They kick them out
Yeah.
because they are cowards. They were not able to stand up with their bosses and tell them, excuse me, sir, but with all due respect,
Yeah.
I don't think this is working. I don't think
Yes.
this one can work. I was suggesting we do this. And that's called assertiveness. As we always say, assertiveness is letting other people know what you are thinking.
Yes.
And your view of things without, of course, belittling theirs.
Yeah.
So this person has no capacity to do this because they have their self-estimate is very low. So they come home, they project whatever they were supposed to do with the boss. They wanted to beat the boss.
Yes.
Yes, they wanted to beat the boss. They wanted to burn that office.
Yes.
Now they come and burn the home.
So they bring all the anger to their home.
They come and burn the home.
Uh-huh.
But there is a way to overcome PTSD because in psychology we say behavior can be learned
Yeah.
and it can be unlearned. It can even be relearned again. So the behavior we have is something we learned out of the information we received. And beliefs and values. We believed and valued some things.
Okay.
So we learned these behaviors. Something happened to us, it is true,
Yes.
but we interpreted it in a certain way.
Yeah.
And that one became now our behavior. And since behavior can be unlearned, we can now unlearn everything we have learned.
Oh, yeah.
Anything that is not working for us. These are called maladaptive behaviors and learn adaptive ones. If, for example, when I was young, someone cut my hand, one of my hands, that was traumatizing.
Yeah.
Maybe, for example. I'm not saying that I don't have a hand. For example,
You have them.
I have them. My 2 hands are here. There are some interpretations I made that day that maybe I'll never be anything in life. Maybe I'll never be able to work like everybody else.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just become poor because now I'm not competitive. I'm not like this. Those are things you learned.
Yes.
Now you can unlearn those ones. Or your eyes were affected when you were young. And you learned helplessness and hopelessness.
Okay.
And you have people like, there are blind people here in Kenya who have employed people who see.
Yeah, sure.
You have people like Ruben Kigame.
Yeah.
He's a musician. He employs people who see, a lot of them.
Yeah.
You have another one called Wanyoike. He's a runner. He even have Wanyeke Foundation
Yeah.
for people who see. He helps the children of people who see in his foundation.
True.
How do you to get the kinaya here?
Yeah.
Wanyoike has a foundation that helps children of people who see. And him, he doesn't
He
see.
doesn't see.
But there's another blind person
Yeah.
who have given up. Why are these two people different? It's because these others have learned other things,
Okay.
and another one have learned other things. So behavior can be unlearned and relearned. You know, after you can come out of a behavior, you stay without that behavior, and then sometimes you find yourself falling back into it again. You are relearning that behavior. So with the help of a therapist
Yeah.
and a counselor, you know what a counselor and a therapist do in counseling is that they just coach you
Yeah.
towards the direction you are taking. You must be willing to go to that direction yourself. The counselor cannot push you to that direction. You must first of all be willing to go to that direction. What the counselor does is just to supervise you as you go to that direction.
It has to start
To
from
start with you. You must be tired of the life you are living.
you. Okay.
You must say, I can be better than this. You must tell yourself, I can unlearn this behavior.
Oh yeah.
And when you go through this counseling and this therapist thing, you sometimes you even have life coaches. Someone who coaches you on life. You come to them, you tell them, for example, I have this problem, I can't relate with these kind of people. They have the materials to coach you one-on-one. They take you, coaching you towards. They solve one problem after another of your life until all your problems are solved. And you live a full life. Yes. They are able to work with you so that you can unlearn these things.
So does it mean that there is that maybe mtu mwenye akiwa mdogo maybe got an accident and maybe one of the leg ikakatwa.
Yeah.
And this thing has been affecting this person up to now.
Yeah.
Does it mean for him or her to heal has first of all to accept
Yeah.
that is a condition
Yeah.
as per that time?
As by that time, you have to integrate your mind, your feelings, and your body. Integrate. They must read one thing. You must accept, the body must accept I don't have a leg.
Yeah.
The mind must accept the leg is gone. And your feelings must accept that we have no leg. You don't have to fight with the reality. Actually, what is struggling, what is destroying people is fighting the reality.
Okay.
For example, if you are unfortunate enough, maybe in your life, maybe you are molested, for example, it is very unfortunate.
Yeah, true.
But it happened. What now keeps this person from being able to function normally is now fighting that this thing didn't happen. That it happened, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Is now thinking about this thing, maybe I caused it, maybe I didn't. You see now?
Yes.
This thing you cannot undo it. It happened. It is unfortunate.
Yes.
But you can now decide to change the view of this thing.
Oh,
Yes. And say, maybe there are people who went through this and they are doing fine. We have seen even crusaders who went through these things.
Yeah.
And they are there crusading, speaking to schools and other people and other women and children, telling them, this one I went through this. I decided to become a crusader of this to make sure it stops.
Yeah.
So you can even decide to move out of this problem.
Okay.
And be even a crusader to stop this thing from other people, happening to other people. Because as I told you,
Yes.
it is not what happened. It is the meaning we give and the perception.
Oh yeah.
And the self-talk, we continue to talk to our mind. The conversation we have in our mind about this thing, that is what continues to put us down. It is not the event, because the event cannot be undone.
Yes, yeah.
The event cannot be undone,
yeah.
but what we talk about it can be undone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once it happens, it happened.
Yes.
Oh, so you are trying to say that there is hope
Yeah.
And he did big hope.
There is hope.
There is
A
such a
lot
word.
of people have come out.
A lot of hope.
A lot of people have
For
come
these
out
victims.
from these victims. We have seen a lot of people come out. We even have rehab centers, rehabilitation centers. People go there, they are rehabilitated. Yes, those ones who had gone through drugs and alcohol and all these things. A lot of people have come out of rehabilitation centers successfully, and now they are living normal lives. Others have even become crusaders of these drugs and this alcohol to try to educate the public, to do psychoeducation of the public about these drugs.
Yeah.
So people have been helped.
Okay.
Yes, people have been helped. So we say there is help without a shade of doubt because people have come out of these things. Yes.
So mtu asikae akisema hapo, no, I got this one and I cannot move out of this one. There is a way.
That is called learned helplessness or learned hopelessness. That's what we call it in counseling. You can learn helplessness, you just stay on your couch.
Yeah.
Yes, and anybody tells you you can, you say, no, me, I cannot. You know, you are conditioned.
Yeah.
Yes, those things you have spoken to yourself over this time and you have believed. And those are your values and principles now. Now you are conditioned to stay like that. Until now you undo those things.
Yes.
You cannot wake up from that couch.
Oh.
Yes.
You have had it, our viewers.
Yes.
We're just about to wrap it up. We have like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you can tell our viewers. There is that person who is undergoing the same, who is walking through trauma, who is like, doesn't have hope.
Yeah.
Who is like clinging on that excuse, no, this one happened, I cannot go get out of this. So please, just give them hope. Just give them hope.
I think we have spoken several things.
Yeah.
And even as we close, whatever you are going through, it is very rare for someone to grow from when they were young up to when they are like my age without going through some of these things.
Yeah.
And even I remember when we were growing up,
Yes.
our mother would not let us even come from school walking with girls. The girls that we go to school with. It was very bad. She would beat us until we wonder, walking with a girl, is it a problem? And it had a problem later in life. We would not relate with ladies. It became a very big problem to relate even with ladies because you see like your mother is watching you, and at that time you are 30 years.
Yes.
You still feel like my mother is watching me. Because when she was instilling these things in our mind,
Yes.
we had no other experience. So we took that to be the real thing. Only to learn in life that no, men have to relate with women because they are their sisters, they are their wives, they are their aunties, and they have to relate with them as people. So whatever you are going through, it happened to you, it is very unfortunate.
Yes.
We cannot, nobody would have wanted anything to happen to you. You would have wanted your life to be smooth from when you are born. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Now, the best gift you can give to yourself is to come out of that helplessness for the remaining of your life. And as we have said here, it is possible.
Yeah.
And we know it is possible because people have come out of very deep things. People have come out of very deep things.
Yeah.
And they are now living their lives.
True.
They are breathing.
Yeah.
And they are living their lives
A good life.
afresh.
Yeah.
So do not say that there is no help. That is a belief and a myth. And when you are coming out also, you should understand that there is the pain of living what you have known for a very long time. Accept that pain.
Yes.
And shame. You may even feel ashamed to come out. And you may even feel pain to leave the comfort of your helplessness. You know, it is comfortable to be helpless sometimes. There is pain in living that state. But accept to go through the pain.
Yes.
Accept to go through the shame if there is any shame. So that you can take your life back into your hands.
Yes.
And then you stop. Maybe I'm talking to a parent who is going through this. If it is not for you, do it for your children.
Yes.
So that this thing does not escalate down to our children. So if it is not for you, maybe if you have no issue with what's going on, please make your life straight and make your life worth living for the sake of your children.
Oh, fantastic! You have it. You have heard it, our viewers. Has it been so? Has it? Will it benefit you? Has it benefited you? Please let us know in the comment section. What I've learned, Mr. Missy, in this one is that effects of trauma can be long-lasting.
Yeah.
But healing is possible.
Healing is possible.
Healing is possible.
Actually, it is the person who perpetuates that prolonging.
Okay.
Yes.
That is it for now. Ensure that you have subscribed to this channel. Until we meet in the next video.
Give them the number.
Oh,
you will put it there.
Yeah, I'll put it there. There's no problem.
Yes.
So that is it for now. Until we meet in the next video.
Yes.
It's a bye-bye for now.
Bye.
All right.